everyone, Marisa B here. Welcome to Radiant Living, Inspiring Humanity to Thrive. Today I have with me Soul Alchemist, Shadow Transformational Coach, known as the Ghostbuster, for her unique approach to healing. With over 2 decades of personal transformation and a decade of sharing her gifts, Mariam Safla is a beacon for clients worldwide. She guides them to transform inner darkness, live authentically, and serve from their radiant beings. Hi, Mariam. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you, Marisa. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be part of this podcast interview. I love your name. It's got to do with radiant living, and that's what I'm all about.
Thank you. And I was so thrilled that you agreed to come on. I have to tell the audience, we're a world away. You're in South Africa, I'm in New York, and yet we have so much in common in our method of helping people. And I thought that because we're a world away, but with the internet, with Zoom, with other platforms that we can speak, I wanted you to be able to tell the audience a little bit about your story, because as you mentioned, it's over, or I should say, as I said, it's over 2 decades that you had a personal transformation. Could you tell the audience a little bit about that?
Yes, I would love to. So my journey starts first with a disconnection from my true self. It was in my early 20s, and I went through quite a grief part in my life, heartbroken, and I was a very free-spirited person. I was very outdoor person, and I loved friends, and I loved going out. And I was not very religious as well. I was, but not so religious. And it so happened that after my heart was broken, I made a vow, I made a decision. And the decision was that this heart is only going to belong to God, no one else.
And so
When
that's how you
I made
started.
I disconnected from my true self, and I started looking at this girl. This is very important for me, very important aspect. What I'm talking about, it's going to elaborate and make you understand what shadow work is all about.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say I disconnected, I made a decision, I made a vow, I made a big promise, and I disconnected. I came out and I started living as another being, as a false self. This Mariam, the true Mariam, no more. And I said, this is who I am. And when I made that decision, it was such a powerful decision. And being a Muslim, there are a lot of things that we're not allowed to do in our religion, like watch TV, listen to music. We need to cover up, and a lot of things. I was not like that before.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did was I totally, when you make a decision from such a powerful place, this is also another important aspect. When you make a decision from a powerful place, it's like the whole universe comes to support you in that decision. Mm-hmm. And instantly I gave up TV. I stopped watching TV. I stopped listening to music. I stopped going out with my cousins. We used to go out and have lots of nonsense and all the nonsense stuff. All that stopped immediately. That's how powerful that decision was. And I started living a life very religious. Everything to do was praying, crying to God all the time, waking up in the middle of the night and crying. And it so happened that when I got married also, I looked for a boy who was more that type. He was more religious inclined and did everything for God. And it was like total fanatic, like everything must be for God. I must do everything to the book.
Mm-hmm. Now, was that your religion before, but you weren't following it?
Yes, I'm a Muslim. Yeah, as a Muslim, we don't do everything. It tells you not to do what you don't do. Now, because the book says, the religious book says, don't do this, I was following it to the T.
Mm-hmm. And then, and you're still living that way.
I built a beautiful connection with God and so forth. So I will come back about the change
Mm-hmm.
that I made, right? So now when I got married what happened was I looked for a boy that was religious. But now only the Mariam that was that free-spirited girl who wanted her fairy tale prince to die
Mm.
too. So she wanted that too when she got married. Right. And what happened was that when my internet is a bit unstable. Did you get me? Did I come back?
Yes. Yes, you're here. You're
Did you
here.
hear me, Marissa?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I came back. So, yeah, so when that part of me didn't die was the part of me that still wanted that romantic and that
Mhm.
going out with my husband on the beach and then honeymoon and all of those things. And when I got married, I married a religious guy who didn't believe now you must do all this stuff.
Mhm. Oh,
So
wow.
now I started crying inside that I married now. I'm one side I'm so religious and I'm not supposed, and then there's this Mariam that wants to be with this guy and be romantic and do
Mhm.
things, which is now also you go there, you don't do things like that. And there was that, total opposites
Mhm.
happening in my life and in my marriage. I was unfulfilled, I was unhappy, I was crying all the time, I was miserable. And also this led to uh, like in-laws challenge. So another basic aspect, this was how I disconnected from myself. That is that vow that took me on a truly different path. I was miserable, I was unhappy. But another aspect came out when I got married was the aspect of in-laws challenges. But how it turned upward is that I realized when I wasn't married, I didn't get any negativity. My mom, my dad, my friends, nobody's really troubling you in life. You
Mhm.
know, everybody is just leaving you. My parents left me to live a free life. And I did have problems in my childhood, but how I ran away from it, also all these struggles was I always lived outside, run on my bike, be with friends. It was like that. So
Mhm.
I was never in
Mhm.
the always running away from my parents' problems. But now when I got married and my in-laws challenges and the negativity they would give me, and I was living with so much of negativity. So the second challenge that I posed was the thoughts, the negative thoughts, the anger thoughts towards my in-laws. Why are they doing this to me? That carried on for years. And the challenges with them were such that they felt I took their son away from them. So the challenge of wanting the son to come and I'm taking him away and so forth, these challenges just kept on going and I'm fighting with them in my head and they are, and it was terrible, when I say the thoughts part.
Yeah.
Did I lose you, Marissa, or are you still with me?
Yes, I'm here.
Mhm. Couldn't run away. I had to be present to it. And so this was another struggle that showed up in my life, which is where I started, even although I wasn't, you sometimes think you're crazy because you actually can feel that they are talking bad about you. You can actually know the emotions. When you go there, you can actually feel the energy. And at that
Mhm.
time of my life, I didn't know I was an empath. And I'm
Mhm.
not just an empath, I'm a very highly sensitive empath, very intuitive as well,
Mhm.
which I didn't know. And when I would tell my husband that I'm getting this feeling, oh no, and this and that, and it just made me think I was crazy all the
Mhm.
time. And this was something that was a very important part of my struggle in life and part of what I help my clients is this understanding because everything changed for me when I was an empath. So before I realized that I would get all this heaviness in my body, this pain in my body because I'm a physical empath. So a physical empath, what happens with them is they feel people's emotions as pain in
Mhm.
their body. So imagine when I'm sitting next to you and you have all these negativity, even if it's not about me, but even if you have all this, I actually feel it as pain in my body. So I'm thinking something is wrong with me. You are doing
Mhm.
some harm on me too, you know. You're putting bad
Right.
eyes on me. You are jealous of me. You are doing some bad magic on me. You know, all these thoughts will go
Mm-hmm.
into your head. And I just love my life. And the more you think about that, the more you suffer. So I suffered a lot in my early years of my marriage. Lots of pain, lots of unfulfillment, unhappiness, because I wasn't this little girl in me, this romantic girl, thought she's getting married, she's gonna have a nice romantic, which is all I'm all about, romance and love stories. That's me, and I'm not getting all of that.
But don't you think that,
So it was
I
a
mean,
great
when
challenge
we're
in my life.
right, but when we're younger, we think with the eyes of the young, we think about the romance in marriage, but marriage is much more than just romance. Marriage is about every day, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, it is. And but that little girl in you always craves that, especially if
Hmm.
you have that kind of the romantic personality in you. So
Yes,
you
but
always crave it, even till today, you always crave that.
true.
It's
And if you're
something you want because
craving that, but you're craving that, but then you had the empath ability on you that was also giving you so much more worry and pain of other people, because as you said, if you're sitting next to someone and you don't even know what it is at the time, right, because you didn't know what was happening at the time, so
no,
you have
you
right,
don't
you have no idea
understand
how
it.
to even control it.
Exactly. So one part of my struggle in life was when a turning point in my life was when I finally understood what an empath is. And I
Mhm.
dived in. I dived in to learn everything I could about empaths. And I learned tools and I learned energy management and
Mhm.
I learned and I continue to learn. But I would say that no matter what, how much outside tools you want to bring in, you want to bring this golden light on you,
Mhm.
nothing is as powerful as activating your own raging light within you.
Yes, it's true. It's true, because that's what you need to
As
protect
you,
yourself. Yeah.
yes, and that radiant light of you becomes so radiant because it's full of love and compassion and
Hmm.
acceptance, and it's all these beautiful divine qualities of God. My journey to of having God all outside me led me, in fact, to the real journey of who God is within me. God is this
Hmm.
beautiful light. These divine qualities I'm talking about, love, acceptance, is God. And we're activating that in us and we're shining that. So even on my in-laws, no matter what they haven't changed.
Right.
I have activated this
Mhm.
light and I look at them. So what automatically happens to them? They can't take that light anymore. They back away.
True.
They back away. You don't need to push them away.
Right. Right. Many do.
That
That's true. If they're not ready to
yes,
accept the light within themselves, because if they're ready to accept the
yes,
light within themselves, then it's a different story in a relationship, in a friendship, in
yes.
family. But if they're not, then as you said, they do back away. And so then what happened? So you finally, after all of this, then what happened?
So I finally found peace. You know, my life started with hatred. And because of all this inner journey and inner work that I did mention to you, and activating and facing darkness within me and activating radiant light,
Mhm.
I became a being of more peace. I can see it with on them. And by being seeing peace on them, what happens is that's what I wanted because I could not understand how this Mariam wants to love God and do everything for God, but she's got hatred and anger with her and resentment
Mhm.
all the time. There was that dissonance there. Here's Mariam who wants to pray to God whole night and she wants to read this but at the moment her being is full of so much of anger and resentment. So now it was what I got. But as I got that, I started uncovering this self I told you I disconnected with.
Mhm.
And I started finding her. So you wanted to know how I am now. Now I found her and I make her happy. She loves music. And I can't understand. I
Mhm.
know it says that music is wrong or whatever, but this girl in me loves it so much.
Mhm.
So I give it to her. I give it to her. And I can't understand. Deep down in me, I really don't believe God is angry with me. Now, before I would, you know. So it's hard for me to say that because in my religious scriptures it's written. right there, it's wrong.
Does it actually
But I'm
say
talking
that?
from my point.
It actually says that in the Quran, no music. It does say that.
I'm not sure if it's in the Quran. It's more in the sayings of the prophets. It comes a lot there. Yeah.
No, it does.
I'm
Because
not sure if it's in
I
the
would
Quran.
wonder if music is out there and it's from a creator, how would it say that we couldn't have it? I'm wondering if the Quran actually says no music. I'm sure prophets have interpreted
Prophet.
things,
Yes.
but and I can see that perhaps with music, they may not necessarily be against music, but it's other things that happen around music, and I could see that they would discuss that.
That's
But
it.
I would
That's it.
find it
The
hard to
music,
believe that music is evil.
the temptation, yes, the temptation that music brings
Mm-hmm.
in us. Now
Yes.
I know I wasn't
Well,
doing the
but
music
again,
in that sense.
right. Well, again, the temptation is within an individual. It's right, isn't it? The individual may
Yeah.
be tempted. An individual has to then understand how to control themselves in that respect. But now, why do they call you the Ghostbuster? Because that goes. Tell the audience why they call you the Ghostbuster
That's it. Now, so
in coaching. Because of course, it does have to do with your empath capability too.
now, with all the inner work and with my empath, I understood my empath ability. So I started understanding I'm an intuitive empath, I'm clairvoyant, I'm clairaudient, I get vision. So my biggest one is visions and feeling. So if I'm talking to you, I can feel it in my own body.
Mm-hmm.
That's a physical empath. So I learned now if I'm sitting with someone with pain, I'm feeling their pain. Now I
Mm-hmm.
can use it to my advantage, especially in a client session, and I can support you, can support you through your pain, understand you, and it's an absolutely beautiful gift I've been blessed with. Although it can be so challenging, this gift.
Mm-hmm.
It's very challenging to feel pain all the time. But for a client, working with a client, it is the most divine gift one can have to serve a client with.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel and I guide you with my feelings, and as you shifting, as you shift, I shift them. It's the light shifts within me. But basically, you wanted to know about the Ghostbuster now,
Mm-hmm.
right? The Ghostbuster part is where you have facing the darkness. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at the darkness as all that ghost within us, and it is going and integrating. And so the main one, let's look at it as the false self. So you see that Mariam that was living in her false self, that is a shadow. Her false self
Mm-hmm.
is the shadow. So when I've uncovered her and that decision that she made, that she will please God and she'll do everything, it was not what God wanted. He never
Mm-hmm.
asked that from her.
Right.
She decided it. So I had to
Mm-hmm.
surrender that decision and give myself permission to be from my true self again. So it takes, that is the ghost busting part. It's
Mm-hmm.
that part when you have to go. I do a lot of Ho'oponopono work, helping you to surrender that shadow. As you
Mm-hmm.
surrender the shadow, that false self, and integration takes part, where we ask questions. How was you? How did you support Maria? So, like, say, example, that shadow that I created, how did it support me? It was like the best thing that could ever happen to me, because I started becoming so, this love for God started becoming so good. And then obviously, God knows, although you are doing it in a negative way, but He can feel that love, and that
Mm-hmm.
spirituality was born in me from my early years.
Mm-hmm.
I had this connection, and not
Yes.
many have that.
Right. Exactly.
It's
It's true.
the opposite way. Yeah, and it is the most beautiful thing to be have given to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, so you look at how that the shadow was your ally, meaning you're supporting you. Then you see how what has it costed you, and you do a little dialogue with it, and you
Mm-hmm.
have a coach that's supporting you, and that dialogue you support, and then You ask the shadow now, how would you like to be? What is a better way? What is a healthier way to be?
Mm-hmm.
And then that shadow, and then you get new mindsets, you get new beliefs. Then you've got to go and do the reprogramming work as well, the tapping daily
Yes,
so that
yes,
you
EFT.
reprogram. Doesn't mean you do the inner work. It's integrated in a energetic level, but
Mm-hmm.
the body level is still stuck. You have to do yoga, you have to do some type of somatic work or some type of
Mm-hmm.
tai chi work to get the out
Mm-hmm.
of the cells as well. And you've
Yes.
got to do some mental work as well,
Mm-hmm.
where you're reprogramming it on a daily basis. So I have my daily reprogramming work that I do. You have to affirm and do your affirmations and
Mm-hmm.
so forth. But it's done nicely, not like how someone comes and gives you, oh, you can try this affirmation. No, the affirmation now is coming from within you.
Mm-hmm.
That's when affirmation works. After doing the healing work, the inner work, and activating a new empowering belief, and then saying it from that space, that's when
Mm-hmm.
your affirmations will really work for you. If you're a person who found affirmations don't work, it's because it's done. It takes longer to program. Maybe it
Yes.
works, but it takes longer.
Right. Now, let me ask you, do you only work with women? Or do you work
Yeah,
with men and women?
I've worked with men as well. If
Oh,
a man
also
has
men.
come to me, I've never said no.
Right.
I've never said no as long as I'm aware, the relationship is such that I'm aware that he's
Right.
married. When it
Right.
it's a safe,
Oh, well, of course,
to get into.
that's even with
Yeah,
psychotherapy. There has to be a formality there, especially by law. You would never become that personal with an individual, male or female, and so therefore there has to be
yeah.
that distance
But I
and that
prefer,
respect.
yeah, but I prefer working with women. So I don't go looking for
Hmm.
men. But if a
Right,
man
if they
comes to
come,
me,
right.
I never say no. Yeah.
I just asked because of your religion, and I'm assuming, are you still married to the same person?
Yeah, I'm still married. I'm still married. And although we're very different because now I married someone who was not, and he always tells me, but I thought you were like this and you didn't want that. And I didn't take you on honeymoon because you were so holy. And I understand where he came from.
Hmm.
And we are different in our personalities. But there's also what I look at the things that I've got to be grateful for with him in my life. I also believe that he's a gift in my life, he's a
Hmm.
blessing in my life. And I look at that because what I went through with him has brought me into this path where I am.
Hmm.
And he has given me this freedom to pursue this work.
Right. And so
In my from my
he gives you the
he
freedom.
let me.
Yes.
Yes, I told him I want to do all this journey work and this Louis Hay courses. He sent me for everything. And not only that, he supported me with my kids because my kids were small. So he took responsibility to take
Hmm.
care of them as I left. So he's been a blessing and he still is. And for me, my mission is here to I just want to all those things, this impact struggles and this disconnection from true self. The I think I just want to see that I'm connecting from truth. I like it to come from my heart. It must be
Hmm.
true. It must not be I'm just saying it. I want to be true. It's very important this year too. I really put that to become aware of what is when I'm speaking the truth and when I'm just speaking.
Hmm. Well,
So
you have such a light in you. And you when you work with clients, I can see that it must definitely shine through. So the question is, how do people in the Muslim community feel? Are they fearful, or do they come to you? How does that work?
thank you. You asked me the right question. Thank you so much. I
Hmm.
appreciate that. That is the question I wanted because that is my third challenge now. And that is the work I'm doing at the moment. It's leading me to the real work I'm doing at the moment. So the challenge is, did I lose you? Right.
No,
So
we're
the
here.
challenge is the judgment from society, and yeah. So the challenge that I had to go through these years since I activated all my gifts and I started my coaching and healing work was now facing family and society's judgment. What you're doing is wrong. So you can imagine I was so religious and I came from a religious background, married into a religious family, living in a religious community, doing part of. So you can imagine how much more the attack was on me. And I stayed true no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
To this work, it was I stayed true. I knew this work has brought me closer to God than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I would ask me to choose praying on that mat and crying every day, but still having anger and resentment and hating my mother-in-law and hating this person. Ask me to choose. I would choose where I am here today.
Mm-hmm.
If I pray less, but I sit with this heart with love, that is everything for me. I feel that is everything for me when it comes to God. So
Yes,
that
because
is
your
what I'm saying is
connection.
that when it
Yeah.
comes to, yeah, so I don't care what they say. I know this vibration in me. And that's all I care about. And I put my light out. I've served clients. I put my these things out. But the real thing is that I work with international clients.
Mm-hmm.
So a part of me let go of the need to serve South African clients. If the
Mm-hmm.
South African client comes to me, I open my arms. But I noticed that overseas I'm more welcomed.
Mm-hmm.
International clients are coming to me, they're seeing my
Mm-hmm.
work. So that was a good shift. If there's anyone out there, if there's something I could give you,
Mm-hmm.
one shift is making that decision. You live in South Africa and you want to help your South African people, and you want to help your family, and you want to help your friends, and you put your intention on them, and you say, yes, let me go. And the more you do that, and the more you get uh, setbacks from them, you go nowhere. The shift is when I said, no, let me serve clients who already want to work for me.
Mm-hmm.
Let me face my attention to people that already are looking for someone like me. And when
Mm-hmm.
I did that, and I said it's okay to be online, more I put my light outside in the world, my friends and family, maybe they will also rise to on their
Mm-hmm.
own. And
Exactly.
that
I
is
mean,
a really,
I do know that there are Muslim women that are coaches and they actually coach other Muslim women. So I do know that they're out there, but that doesn't necessarily
yes,
have to mean that. You can be whatever your personal, I mean, someone comes to me, they don't ask me what my religious beliefs are. They're not coming to me for my religious beliefs, right? They don't really
yeah,
care what my religious beliefs are. They're coming to me to help them. So
yeah.
it's as long as you have
And
the connection with the person that you're going to, because it's all, not everybody is a fit with everybody. So as long as you have the
yeah,
connection with someone and what they say resonates with you, then it's important to work with them, because that's the path for you as the client. But they don't come and ask me, so it doesn't, I mean, I'm assuming that some people, their preference is to have someone that has the similar background, but that's not necessarily a given that it has to be that way.
yeah. And then my clients were not Muslim. So most of my clients were international Americans all
Mm-hmm.
over. And I served thinking like, you're stuck and you're feeling drained and there's pulling in you and, all these things I did. And there was this part of me that's also very religious and loves God. And as I see, as the more they loved my work and they continued, I'm noticing they too are making that same connection with God. And
Mm-hmm.
now it's becoming so easy for me to talk about God. And at first
Right.
I was scared. How can I tell them? They're going to think I'm a Muslim and I'm preaching my religion. But now I see that
Mm-hmm.
it has nothing to do
Mm-hmm.
with God. God is for everyone.
Is
How
it
they
time
take
to,
to it.
I hear,
And
is it time to pray? I hear them calling for
yeah, and
prayer.
then I live right. Yeah, that's the call to prayer. I live right next to the mosque,
Oh,
right next
wow.
door.
Mm-hmm.
so, so sound is right into my house, and I didn't take that into consideration when we booked this call.
Hmm.
I'm so sorry about that.
No, no, that's
And
okay. No, that's
yeah, would
okay.
you like
That's
to
what
pause?
happens.
Would you
No,
want to pause
don't
for
worry
the
about it.
time?
That's life, and that's how it is. I would never tell anybody to stop, other than if you have to pray, then that's different.
No,
If
no,
you have
it's
to
okay.
pray, because
No, no,
you know,
that's
if you have to
okay.
pray, but no, that's somebody's path. That's fine for me. Um, it's just
Yeah,
funny how that you
thank you
live
so
actually
much.
right next door to the mosque.
Yeah, and then when I'm doing sessions with clients as well, then I tell them, let's take a pause and we just mute until it's
Hmm.
over and then we get back.
Hmm. Yeah. That's no,
So,
that's fine. I mean, that's the way it is. And they do that what, 5 times a day? Is it 5 times a day that there's
yeah, 5 times a day,
yeah.
5 times. And you are quite well with Muslim tradition. I'm like,
Well, I
quite
like to
well with you are knowledgeable
well,
with it. That's,
well, no, because well, first of all, I've studied a lot of different religions because I find it fascinating, and so I personally have studied them, and I believe that we should understand people's belief systems. We should respect them because I think also when you do understand them, you do respect them. So that's really, I think that we should all learn about everybody's um spiritual and religious paths.
yeah,
And so that's right. That's,
yeah,
you know, and I try to make sure that I know that and I don't like to offend anybody. So if someone, and when I was working in New York City, if someone had a different belief system, I would never want to disturb them if it was time for them to pray, or if it make them feel awkward because I was trying to inflict my personal beliefs on them. I think that everybody has a right to believe what they want to believe and worship the way they want to. So that's how I knew that there were the 5 times a day. So, but I just I found it, like I said, your light is so strong and you're out there helping people all over the world. So I thought that it was
yeah,
important to discuss it because it is a little different. You are living but you're it's not a Muslim country that you're in. No, it's not. You're the country you live in
yeah,
is not Muslim, because I would
yeah,
assume that that would be more difficult to be in a predominantly
yeah,
Muslim country. But you
yes.
still live that way. Do you still keep all of the religious rules in the home? Do you keep that at home?
Yeah, there is, but like not so strict like with TV and things like that. I do allow it. At one stage, I never allowed it. Now I do allow. I do
Mm-hmm.
listen to music. I told you it makes
Right.
me happy,
Mm-hmm.
so I do bring it, but I'm not doing it in a sense like, what you would think of. It's just that joy in it. But
Mm-hmm.
what I wanted to mention was that this is where I am now in my life, is where I'm now helping women who feel like this. First of
Mm-hmm.
all, they are getting pulled off by family and spouses and the energy that the vampires
Mm-hmm.
pulling them away. Then they've got this big work in them. They've got this mission. They know they are for more, but they can't break free. So
Mm-hmm.
that's that thing, that spouse and that religious background, and you're not breaking free. And then from there also the judgment. So they carry a lot of
Yes.
rich wounds in them, because I do soul work. So I can look into your soul records and all this. That if I talk about my healing gifts and my psychic gifts, I'm going to be harmed in some way. So they're carrying all that. So I do the energy work for them in that way so that they can now go out and
Mm-hmm.
serve that. Like how I am going out and serving it no matter what.
Yes.
How family could be pulling me back, how the spheres could be pulling me back. I am there to put this energy and light in the world no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want. I'm helping my clients do. So that's when I said thank you for that question. This is taking me there. So that is how I am at the moment. I'm looking for people that they know they are healers, they know they are
Mm-hmm.
meant for more, and they just can't get it out. And then also I went
Mm-hmm.
through a lot of coaching courses. So the business
Yes.
part I've done. I understand we like to talk about our modalities. I do journey work, I do Akashic records, I do
Yes.
this, that, but it's not, that's when we can't sell and we can't get clients. It's all about selling a transformation. It's the
Mm-hmm.
value. You are just not working with me. Help to cut that cords. You'll understand why you're giving them permission to hold you back. You will take responsibility for your life. You
Yes.
will say yes to your dreams, and you will get out there and you will give your permission, yourself permission to have that beautiful, abundant life. And
Hmm.
then all your fears, and you talk with the sense of the transformation you're going to give them coming from your path. That is one of the main things where I am now in my business and life.
Because I would think that it's difficult for some people to break away, or maybe they feel like they're breaking away and they don't realize you don't have to break away from your belief systems. You're just trying to live a radiant and abundant life. But you're really not breaking away. You can have it all. You can have your personal beliefs and still do the work that maybe you're called for, or change the work that you're currently doing. I think that I
Yeah,
think a lot of people are
and I like that
fearful.
you said, and I like that you said that, because when it came to the marriage part, and I didn't want to speak about it, but what I was saying is that you don't need to leave that marriage. You don't need to
That's right.
say, "Oh, these in-laws are like that." For me, it was never that.
Hmm.
They're supporting me. I have all this internet, everything being paid for. My life is such a bliss. I'm serving. So let me
Hmm.
just carry on doing my work and
Hmm.
like break free from any fear. Like I feel like he doesn't want me to be. It's all my beliefs.
Hmm.
Oh, he doesn't want me. I'm a woman. He doesn't want. I want to break free from it. That I can be free as a woman, as a Muslim woman. I can live my free life. So I'm going towards that, and that
Hmm.
is what I'm going to give my clients. I can see that he's moving away, as I told you. Your
Hmm.
in-laws, they may not have changed or whoever, but your radiant light makes them back away.
Right.
To be the same with him, they'll back away and they'll give you that freedom. But it also comes with strength. Someone who can manage that, who's got a lot of strength with the energy work, that they can do that. Otherwise, some
Yes.
people, it is difficult. You can't. You can't. Then you have to say no and you have to leave. And I
Right.
think my challenge was my parents. So my parents also had a lot of struggles in their marriage. So again, I'm carrying a childhood vow. So for me, I think being such a strong empath, even at a young age, what I could have done is that I even like tried to hold my parents' marriage together,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
in my mind, like, "Mom, you can't leave daddy. You just have to be with daddy." I got a feeling, because to me, that was so strong for me. So even when I got married, is no matter what, I will not break my marriage.
Hmm.
And it's not a nice thing. You're doing it control. Not nice.
Right.
That was not nice. And I just launched my program in December last year. It was my first online program that I launched. And one of the exercises I do is giving yourself permission. So,
Hmm.
what do you need to give yourself permission? And I go through a whole list who you feel you need to ask permission for. What permission will you ask them? I need to
Hmm.
ask permission from my husband to please let me live free if I had to ask him. So the
Hmm.
thing goes quite down. What permission would you ask yourself? If you
Hmm.
had to ask yourself permission for something, Mariam, what permission would it be? You know?
Right.
And I think mine was like, it's okay to leave your marriage if you're not happy. It's okay. I came to that and it was like shocking. And then I
Hmm.
asked God, and it was with God. You ask if you had to ask God for permission for something, what would you? It's a nice exercise to go through. And if you
Hmm.
had to ask God for permission for something, what would it be? And that permission was that God says, Mariam, you don't have to stay in a place you are not happy.
Hmm.
And that was like, yay, I got it.
Hmm.
Because as you know me, I'm a person that wants to please God. And in my
Right.
religion, it is that if you divorce, it is like making God very angry.
Yes.
So you're coming with that, you're not allowed to get divorced, because if I get divorced, it is going to shake the throne of
Hmm.
God. The throne of God will shake to be so angry. So you must make your marriage no matter what. And to live like that is not nice. And it was so lovely, you know. It was so nice to be free from that, knowing that it's okay to leave if you're not happy. But it's a choice. I can choose to leave or I can choose to stay as long as, you know. So
Right.
it was such a lovely in that way to know that, and it has really helped me because it has really helped me even with challenges that came up, even if it didn't have to do with my husband, challenges that came up. I don't need to be there if I'm not happy. It became
Right.
so screw. I can feel my body. No, I don't need to be at that function if I don't feel good. I can say no.
Yes.
So it 2023 really helped me to embrace my no. So it was, as I told you, you want to serve, and at the same time, you will have these energy vampires in your life. You'll
Yes.
have manipulators, intimidators, and they'll pull you out and distract you, and the social media will distract you, and different causes will distract you. You've got to learn to say no.
Now,
Because
this
your
program
mission,
sounds
you've
very
got to make
important.
that purpose, connect to your highest purpose.
And your program
I
sound
love
this
it at
program
the
sounds
moment.
very
It's been,
it sounds very important. You said it's online. How can somebody find you? For example, if there's somebody who needs help to, I guess, come to grips with what's happening to them. Maybe they don't have anybody to speak to, especially if they are religious, in the Muslim faith. How can somebody reach you? Do you have a website? Do you have,
yeah,
how
so
does,
yeah. So on my website, if you go to contact, there's a place you can book a free call with me. So
oh,
that's
so,
lovely because now when you're
yes.
talking to me, I'm intuitively connected to you. So you really get to see a lot because it all comes out naturally for me. And I will get visions and I will see and I will tell you what your shadow
Yes.
is if it comes up because I get visions. And then we go from there and then I show you, okay, like now I'm not going to help you to integrate that shadow on that free call, but I can show you that if you book and work with me in my signature program, which I have my VIP programs, this is how we can work together in my 5 session VIP and you get to integrate it. Then I can also introduce you to my online group program, which I'm going to be launching now, maybe in March, April. It
Oh,
was
that
launched
sounds nice.
in last year, November, December. So now it will be launched in March of April, end
That
of March,
sounds,
April. So in
yeah.
that way, that's my 5 days. Yeah. And I
So, and
do
then I can
a
put your
live
website
course in that. And
information.
in that live course, yeah, in your the stuff you can put it and then they will see that. They will see the Empowered Soul Service program. Then at the moment I can just write be on my waiting list. So I
Yes.
can connect to you and be on my waiting list. Yeah, I didn't put that button, but I can put the button to be on my waiting list.
Right. So what I'll do is I'll leave your information in the description, of course, for websites, because I'm sure that some audience members are going to try to contact me and say, how can we speak to her? Especially people that might be more fearful of stepping out into their own power because they're fearful of what others will say. So I think that that would be important to list
Playing
where they can get a
small,
hold of you
hiding
because of,
your gifts,
yes.
playing small, hiding your gifts.
Yes.
You know, it's time now we are in this era where it's time to stop playing small and just start giving those. It's fulfillment. You'll never be fulfilled. If you're born with, imagine you're born with such beautiful gifts and you never get the chance to use it. There'll
That's
always
right.
be that feeling something is wrong, something is missing. That is what is missing. You're feeling that emptiness. That's it.
Exactly. And of course, playing small in your life because you're fearful that you might be um, viewed from others as bad or no good or not following your spiritual
Mhm.
path, that that's difficult to deal with.
Is. It is. But there is. I can say that I know I have moved past it. I'm showing clients how to move past it. It is. You can do it. You don't only play small like that. You also play small. My way of playing small was also I didn't want to let be better than others. So keep myself small. No, she has to be better than me.
Mhm.
But we also have that in us. We have things where we don't allow ourselves. We have made decisions. You see, one of the main things that I wanted to speak about also is the shadows. I spoke about
Yes.
my shadow, my decision, but there are decisions we make at so many other times. We make a decision that I will be responsible for my life. See, my father, my brothers are not doing for me since my father passed away. I will be the man. Then we take on that being the man, and then we bring everybody else because now we disconnected from our femininity. That's what
Mhm.
many of us are going through, that reconnection to your feminine.
Mhm.
We've taken on that energy. There's so many times you make decisions. No, but a time of a traumatic event and a time that you made a strong decision from a
Mhm.
place of anger, from a place of resentment, from a place of negative emotion, that is when you create your shadow.
Mhm. And how many times do
Now you
people
got
do
to
that?
find
Often, right?
that.
People do that often,
Yes, we
very
got to,
often.
yeah. And you
Yeah.
see, a lot of inner work, inner child work is we go and we find that inner child and we love her and we forgive her and we hug her, but we forget about the shadow.
Mhm. And
That's
it's
why we don't
important.
sometimes and that's when our inner, that's for me. I did a lot of journey work and a lot of working with inner child, and we go into cellular
Mhm.
memories, and you can find traumatic memories even when you were in your tummy of your mother.
Mhm.
You can hear the feelings that she had. If you are an empath, you were even an empath in the womb. So you even felt all her emotions double because if you're an empath, everything is like amplified. And you take
Mhm.
on that energy. You come in with this world with that energy. There's so much that even when I did those sessions where I went into the womb of my mother and I saw her, how she's thinking of my dad, or how she's thinking of her sister-in-laws and so forth, and I took it on. Then at that moment, I was shown because you ask your guides within you, you ask for
Mhm.
gifts. And the gifts they showed me was that you're born with a natural shield.
Yes.
You know, we come and we empaths, we say, now activate this golden light. But we all, if you're an empath, believe me, you are born with the gifts of protection. You are
Mhm.
born with that natural shield. You don't have to say, now I'm allowing this golden light to come. You just have to say, natural shield,
Mhm.
activate. And activate, connect to that natural shield that God has already blessed you with. As soon as I do that, then my mother's stuff was hers and my stuff was mine.
Mhm. Now, do you have a do you have a Facebook page, any social media where people can connect with you also? I know you have a website for people that want to work with you or they want to find out about your programs. What about any do you have any like the social media? Some people have either Facebook group or do you have anything like that?
Yeah, so my Facebook business page and Instagram page is Magically Thrive. So if you go at Magically Thrive,
Oh, wonderful.
Magically, magically, and
Hmm.
Thrive, Thrive,
Oh, oh, just
Thrive.
oh yeah, Thrive.
Yeah,
Just that's wonderful. That's like the
yeah,
title that I have in it's so funny. Like I said from the beginning, we're a world away, but the thinking of helping the planet is very
yeah,
similar, even though we come from different walks of life. And yes, I will definitely list
yeah,
that as well for people. I'll put that down because I'm sure people in the audience want to see
yeah.
and connect
And
with you.
My Facebook group is called Lightworkers Rising and Shining Sisterhood. So
Oh,
in that group,
wonderful.
I do free trainings, I do video trainings for free. I won't do it so much on my business and Instagram. Now and then I do a reel or something on my Instagram, but on my Facebook page is where I'm most comfortable. Group Lightworkers
Mhm.
Rising and Shining Sisterhood, where I will do free trainings and
Oh, I will
support.
definitely list that as well because I'm sure people will want to be in contact and, of course, listen to what you're speaking about and things that you're
Yeah,
doing because I think
lots
it's
of
so
video
important.
trainings as well. Lots of healing meditations as well, where I do a lot of forgiveness healing and cutting cords healing.
Hmm.
Lots of things
Yes.
in that
And you
group as
you
well.
mentioned Akashic Records because I know that you um are an expert in dealing with
So
Akashic Records as well.
yeah, so that's where my soul work comes from. So
Hmm.
that's where I believe that you've got to go into the records and then I access your soul patterns.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that your life struggles are because of a soul pattern. So people call it past lives. But as a
Yes.
Muslim, we don't also believe in past
Right.
lives
Believe
as
that.
well.
Yes.
And in my healing,
Mm-hmm.
I was shown that I was in the soul world and I was looking down and I was seeing all these patterns. And then it was, you chose to come
Mm-hmm.
and heal that pattern. You can look at
Yes.
it as you took a past life of someone else's.
Mm-hmm.
You took someone else's past life and you put it in you and you said, I'm going to come and heal that person who was unfair,
Mm-hmm.
what was done to her. She was
Mm-hmm.
burnt at the stake, it was not right. So it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean you were burnt at the stake, I believe.
Yes.
I believe you were brought in and then you come and it's a soul pattern. And also, I love activating your soul gifts. So when I do the Akashic records, I activate what's your soul gift. So, like say for my client, she has divine compassion, divine beauty, and divine order. So these
Mm-hmm.
are the three main gifts. I only look at three. So they are eight. So I look at the first three that you need. So now you see, if it was divine beauty, you've got to be living your life from this beauty, this wonder.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you connect it to your religion life. When you work and you see beauty and wonder, the more beauty and wonder, the more you activate that daily life. But what
Mm-hmm.
happened in childhood is the trauma blocked that. You couldn't see
Yeah.
beauty anyway. You could only see anger. You only saw a mean dad who only did
Mm-hmm.
mean stuff. And it just blocked all beauty. You could never see life as beautiful because you only saw meanness.
Right. Right. And it's a lot
So
to
now
have to
it's like
clear up,
healing
right?
that
It's a lot to
trauma that you
shine
went
through.
with your dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Spacing those things are important. And I support my clients with all of that. I've got two beautiful signature programs. One is called Align to Your Truth and Purpose, and the other one is called Like a Boss Lady. But when I
Mm-hmm.
add it together, it's just called my soul being blueprint. And what happens is the first align to your truth and purpose is where you've got to heal all the shadows and the traumas of where you made
Mm-hmm.
these decisions of you overgave, you overdid for people, caretaker role.
Mm-hmm.
The caretaker role comes a lot with my clients, even with
Yes.
children, giving their life to the children, they're forgetting themselves, they're taking the role of being caring
Mm-hmm.
for their moms or whatever, and they have to take back their power and
Mm-hmm.
start aligning to do. That's when you align to your truth, be true to yourself, and find your purpose. Because that's where I
Yes.
want to get you. I
Yes.
know
Oh,
that's where I wanted to be. And I wanted,
mm-hmm.
once you're there, now you go and serve it like a boss lady. You go and create
Yeah.
a business out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the other part is where I'm not allowed to
Right.
charge. It's spiritual work and I
Um,
can't charge. All that will go in that part where you have to
mm-hmm.
break free of all those patterns as well. You are allowed
Yes.
to charge. The giving and the receiving is so important. The balance of the masculine. That's where a lot of masculine control energy
Mm-hmm.
and manipulation energy we work in the second program. So I work a lot with ego,
Mm-hmm.
stubbornness, jealousy, so but only when you work through the aligned truth of purpose
Mm-hmm.
and you activated your radiant light, then we can only shine it. Because I can't help you to integrate your ego. You've got to shine light on it. And you can
Mm-hmm.
only shine light if you have activated, you've let go of all these
Mm-hmm.
shadows and you brought in light, a light
Right.
being
Right.
in you.
Let
Then
the
you
light
can
pierce through. Yeah. Let the light pierce through. It's difficult.
the dark. You've got to pierce it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just a guide.
Yes. Yes.
To show
Exactly.
you where it is. So you've got to be open. And by the time we work so long, you trust me and you
Mm-hmm.
can see how I work. So you give me permission to make you see your
Mm-hmm.
egos and support you in that form as well.
Well, boy, there's so much
Because
to
it's not
talk about,
easy.
Mariam, right? There's so much
I
to
thank
talk
you so
about.
much.
There's so much to talk about, right? We could go on and on, but I do want to thank you for coming
Yeah.
on today. I want to thank you
Thank
for
you.
just explaining very little bit. You only touched the surface, right? I mean, it was just a sprinkling of all the work that you do and all the help that you give everyone. I want to
Yeah.
thank
And
you
I thank
again.
you. I felt so relaxed that I could actually share with you. I thank you for that. I could open up,
Oh,
I could be vulnerable. I felt very thank you for that as well.
oh, I want to thank you for letting us have a glimpse of some of the things that you do and the important work that you're doing for everybody out there. I hopefully that we will speak again sometime soon. I do appreciate it.
Yes, and I love my work so much. So if anyone is listening to this, book that free course. Get onto my web.
Yes.
I love it. I just love it. You're not obligated. I will mention my program to you at the
Hmm.
end. If we are aligned and if my program can
Right.
support you, I will use it. But I just love it. I just love it that I met you and I was able to support you and show you something. And I know
Hmm.
you will take, even if we're not aligned, you will definitely take something from my course. So book, if you are listening to this, book
Hmm. Oh,
the
definitely.
course.
I will make sure that all the information is there. And hopefully we will speak again, Mariam. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I think we have something called load shedding in South Africa.
Yes,
So at
they do.
certain times,
Yes, I heard that. I heard that recently that they do that. It's so
yeah,
many times right in the day that they lower the
yeah.
electricity amount. Yes. I just heard that actually
The
just
lights got cut
yesterday.
off. Yeah,
Yes, right, to
yeah, but luckily
conserve,
I
I
had my
believe.
data on. I had my data on, so that's why we didn't switch off.
Well,
Otherwise, we would
thank
have
you.
switched off. I had my.
Uh, no problem at
Thank
all.
you so
I want
much.
to thank you again, and I will speak with you hopefully again in the year.
Yes, yes, I'd love that. I'd love that. And
Bye
if you want
now.
to do something
Yes.
specific, if you want to something specific, you want me to bring in some energy work, let me
Oh,
know.
yes, that'd be wonderful. Oh, definitely.
Let me know.
Absolutely. Oh, wonderful. I will be in touch. Definitely. Bye now.
Thank you, Marissa.